Hello, welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn some vocabulary from the news, so let's get started. I saw this word on the news this week. What does it mean? How do you pronounce it? The word is pronounced indicted. Indicted. In the present, indict. In the past, indicted. The C is silent, so that makes the T between vowels, so it changes to a fast D. Indicted. So on Monday, Trump was indicted. What does it mean? It means that he was formally charged with a crime. He was indicted. He was formally charged with a crime. And then on Tuesday, I saw this one. He was arraigned. Pronunciation? The G is silent, so it's pronounced like rain with a long A. Arraigned. The first syllable is not stressed. It's pronounced Arraigned. What does it mean? It means he had to go to court and face the judge and enter his plea. He had to tell the judge if he was guilty or not guilty. He was arraigned. He went to court. And he had to give his plea. Plea is a noun. It's when you say you're guilty or not guilty. You give your plea. You enter your plea. And this is the action, plead. Plead is the verb. Plead in the present. In the past, you have two forms. When talking about court cases, people use both forms in the past. You can say he pleaded guilty or he pleaded not guilty. In this case, he pleaded not guilty. Or you can say he pled not guilty. Let's listen to some examples.
He's not even throwing out the convictions of people like Gladys, who pled guilty under duress.
Marty pled guilty.
The first time, she pleaded guilty and was sentenced to probation. The other time, charges were dropped.
You pleaded guilty, again, and waived your right to an attorney.
I pled guilty and was sentenced to 7 months house arrest.
Cameron Poe, you have pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the first degree.
They pleaded not guilty. Their attorney said the arrests were a shame and a pity.
So this is what happened. On Monday, he was indicted on charges. And on Tuesday, he was arraigned in court. And he pled not guilty. Or you can say he pleaded not guilty. Both are correct. Let's practice. When was Trump indicted? That's right, he was indicted on Monday. And when was he arraigned? Was he arraigned the next day? That's right, he was arraigned in court the next day. And how did he plead? Did he plead guilty or not guilty? That's right, he pled not guilty. Let's take a closer look at this verb plead. Plead can be used as a synonym for beg. They mean the same thing. You can say he begged his boss not to fire him. His boss wanted to fire him for being late, but he begged his boss not to fire him. You can also use plead in this case, but in the past, we don't say pled, we only use pleaded. He pleaded with his boss not to fire him. You see, with plead, we use the preposition with. He pleaded with his boss. He pleaded with his boss not to fire him. You cannot use pled in this case. Pled is only used in court cases.
I pleaded with him to turn around and walk out the door, but he wouldn't do it.
I talked with him. I told him. I pleaded with him to lay off.
I pleaded with you.
You heard him calling to her at night? I had to plead with her to go to him.
Let's practice. Did he plead with his boss not to fire him? That's right, he pleaded with his boss not to fire him. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.